This is an exclusive that they did just for the TV show. And it takes a lot of doing, but this is an exclusive interview. The first part, because we have two different interviews. These are the guys and the girls from TRANS SIBERIan Orchestra from SCORCH'S PFG-TV. Check this out.
Oh my God.
It's Lucy, and his real name's Rob, but we call him Rod for today.
Loving
it.
We're backstage live at TRANS SIBERIan Orchestra. Another year of TSO, man. Good for you guys.
Man?
And you can tell I set Rod straight because he said, "Why don't you sit next to the hot chick?" And I said, "You know what? They'll know." Everybody that watches the TV show will know that it was a setup if all of a sudden I'm sitting with my arm around the hot chick. Tell us about the show, because you do part Christmas stuff and then like you do part show stuff. Tell us about that.
Well, this is the first of, for the last 13 years, we've been doing our show called Christmas Eve and Other Stories. And this is the first year we debuted it was our third album in the trilogy, The Lost Christmas Eve. And we knew, our boss, Paul and Hill, knew he needed to change it up and give, the audience, we see almost 1 million people a year with both coasts, during this time. So we're really excited about this new album. I think it's going over really well. People are enjoying it. And, it's that mixture between a holiday story and a rock and roll concert. So it's really something for everybody.
The cool part about this album is Rob is singing on the album and singing in the show.
Well, there you
go.
And it's
nice,
really
good for you. And that's all it takes. Wouldn't you agree? You see a TSO show, you're gonna like it.
Yeah, it's so funny because I've been with the band now since 2001. And, the first time people ask me, what band are you in? You're in the Transylvanian what?
Yeah, exactly.
And now I'm like, well, I'm in TSO. Oh, TSO! Awesome, So it's funny to watch the growth of it. But it is something that you got to see to you can't really explain it.
Yeah.
You have to go and say, you got to see this. And then they go, oh my God, there's nothing like it out there.
Now, here's an interesting question. What buzz would you recommend to see a TSO show at its optimum? Would you recommend a beer buzz? Would you recommend like a Jack Daniels buzz? What kind of a buzz would I never thought that.
Dude, a buzz off of Life, baby. Come on.
Life buzz.
The heavy metal buzz.
That's good.
Ooh.
Lucy playing Bach.
Whatever Lucy plays is good with anybody, that. Come on now. Now, so explain the show itself. It's lasers and pyro, and I tell people you're an orchestra that is a rock orchestra as opposed to like a classical music orchestra, even though I would imagine you're all pretty much classically trained as well.
We're a mix. We're a good mix of rock and classical. And
she goes out with Moby and does the whole thing.
It's a good blend. A lot of people just rock out.
I'm just so excited to have you. And obviously things are going well. Can somebody get a shot of the man's shoes down here?
Those shoes are threatening.
Now here's the difference between...
There we go,
look
baby.
Look at that, huh? First of all, no wonder why the women like you. Look at that.
That's right.
And I thought I was doing
You know
good.
what they say,
Look at
big
that.
shoes, big feet.
Yeah, well, and what did they say about my
saying.
dirty beat up shoes equals radio and TV host,
Man, you look like you're doing all right.
Yeah, we do, okay. So now, tell us more about what you guys are going to be doing tonight for the show, because we're going to have it on the TV show as well. So
we offer all these people escape,
Yep.
in a terrible economy and when things are uncertain. And this story's pretty heavy. It's centered around my character, who's a father who loses his wife, and his son is handicapped, and because he's so angry, he goes off for 30 years. He's really rich and very successful, but the money's not everything, and that's kind of what happens around. The angel comes down like it did the last time, tells a new story, meets new folks, and at the end of it, there's redemption and some pretty ass-kicking rock and roll.
Well, I guess we're not going to have to show the show now, because we got the Cliff Notes version right there from my pal Rod. So, anyway, you know what? I know you guys are busy.
We're gonna hit it.
I would love for you, just if you do me one favor, and we'll talk about it afterwards because it's just something for the show. But his real name is Rob. We know him as Rod, and it's my pal Lucy, who for some reason, and we're live backstage. Coming up soon, you're actually going to see some of the show as we're live on SCORCH'S PFG-TV. We're coming right back. right back. Okay, so we had some of the interviews behind the scenes, backstage with Trans Siberian Orchestra, and you don't even know. Right now, if you can see behind me right now, what you got there, that's just the basic starts of what is going to be the most intense, the most insane light show, laser show, and pyro show, plus music show you're ever going to see. And we're extremely proud to have him back live on SCORCH'S PFG-TV. Trust me, the show is going to kick your ass. Get back into the interview. This is part 2 of the interview with the guys and the girls from Trans Siberian Orchestra.
Unbelievable.
Right here on SCORCH'S PFG-TV. We're here with more backstage with Trans Siberian Orchestra and Natalia and Chris. And I've seen you. It's been a year. It's hard to believe it's been a year because time is flying by.
It's crazy.
You know, but you're the young one. I remember that, right?
One of them.
Yeah.
3, yep.
Yeah. So you're growing into a fine young lady. Good for you.
Thank you.
And you're growing into a fine young man.
Thank you. It's been a long time, yeah. Many years.
How long have you been with the band now? We talked about
I've
this
been with
before.
the band since the very first day. And actually,
Yeah.
I've been working with Paul for, dare I say, 27 years now.
Isn't that something,
Yeah,
huh?
me and Paul and Neil, I've been working with him for a long time. So it's a great experience. I mean, to watch something like this develop from the very first day and see it happen and you know, hear Paul say what, you know, this is going to do this and this is going to do that, because it's like nobody really knew what to expect with TSO. And Paul was the one who said, well, when we headline arenas, and we hadn't even played a show yet. We hadn't even released a record yet. He was just talking about the idea.
That's genius
like,
at work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
He
to
still
watch
kind
it
of
all,
talks like that.
to watch it all happen is amazing.
And so that's a whole other thing. It's got to be just for you a huge pride, for both of you actually, a huge pride thing. But you from the beginning to see it do just what you said, to
I'm
see
just
it.
proud to be a part of it. I mean, the musicians are so great, and Paul just keeps the production and the show at such a high level that there's sometimes when I go to the back of the arena with some of our little tricks and gags that I'll look at the stage and it's kind of surreal that that's what people are looking at. I'm going, wow, this is really cool.
And you know, the thing about TSO, which is really nice, a lot of bands, they'll have a couple of stragglers with different age groups. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we'll just say, whatever, we'll just put Joe Rock Band. They'll have a few older people.
I have all of his records.
See, remember, so you still have them. I gave him Joe Rock Band's albums as a present last year. But they'll have a few older people or a few younger people, and you know, some a generalization of a mid crowd that's the heart of their audience.
Yeah.
Trans Siberian Orchestra, you can go up and down every demographic.
Exactly.
And
We always say
you've got a full
8 to
audience.
80 is the way we look at it.
Do you know? And there's no doubt about it. Now, what about for you, growing up with the show and growing up on the show? How's that turning into?
It's interesting because the TSO is a band that you can genuinely say has a history. It's been around for so long. I mean, from the beginning with Sabotage and then what has transformed into this big Christmas amazing Transformer show. It's crazy. But to be a part of something that so many people like Chris have been a part of for so long, and me coming in as kind of a newbie, a baby, really, in the show, and adding to that history is something that I'll always treasure because...
Oh, that's nice. That is such a holiday thing. So now, is it like a family to you? Did the guys in the band watch out and make sure that you don't get,
Oh, of course.
you know, guys groping at you and whatnot? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They
no,
babysit us, actually.
Yeah.
we make sure they eat well.
They're the
We make sure their
responsible
buses
ones.
are clean, and they make sure that nobody messes with us. And it's definitely a big family.
We're live backstage. It's Trans Siberian Orchestra. It's Chris and Natalia. We're on SCORCH'S PFG-TV. Wait till you see the show. It's incredible.
Come on.